Hi, and welcome to this quick enablement video of the NetApp AltaVault Cloud Integrated Storage Appliance, the market-leading solution for protecting data to public and private cloud storage. In this video, we'll discuss how to further improve AltaVault's highly secure architecture by configuring and enabling SSH Chained Authentication. To begin, let's do a quick review of AltaVault. AltaVault is a simple, easy-to-use cloud integrated storage appliance which provides access to backup and archive applications via NAS protocols including SMB, NFS, Veritas Open Storage, and SnapMirror. Backups and archives are written to the appliance by any of the leading backup application providers. The data is then optimized by applying a variable length inline deduplication, compression, and AES 256-bit encryption before it is saved to the local AltaVault cache for quick restore and replicated to the cloud using your internet link for long-term data protection and disaster recovery. Today, secure SSH access to AltaVault is currently done using either passwords or through the use of SSH public keys. For most administrators, using public key authentication or passwords suits the needs for AltaVault administration just fine. But for organizations who need more security, having multi-factor authentication by using both mechanisms, called SSH Chained Authentication, can now be performed starting with AltaVault version 4.4. Why is SSH Chained Authentication helpful for improving security of AltaVault? Each security mechanism provides security in a different way. Public keys provide security by a possession, that is, something you already have, which is the corresponding private key. Passwords provide security by knowledge, something that you know. By enabling both, you provide additional security and make it harder for AltaVault to be compromised by an attack. Now, let's take a look and see how SSH Chained Authentication is set up by doing a quick demo. AltaVault requires that at least one role-based account with full admin privileges be configured with SSH public key access. Let's say that user is user 1, which we'll create now. We'll also set up user 1 with admin privileges to AltaVault. For SSH public key access, let's ensure that we import the public key for this user into AltaVault using the SSH server command as shown here. Note that the authorized key field represents the contents of the pub file for this user from the client host system that we're connecting to AltaVault from, such as this Linux workstation. If a public and private key pair for the user haven't been created yet, you can create one using the SSH keygen command as shown here. Once both security credentials are configured, we can enable security authentication methods if they are not already enabled. To view the status of the SSH security authentication methods that are available, use the show SSH server command. By default, both password and public key are enabled on AltaVault as shown here. Next, we'll activate SSH Chained Authentication using the command SSH server chained-auth. With this change in place, all users logged into AltaVault will now have to use both the SSH key pair and local account passwords to log in. Let's go ahead and perform authentication for user 1 using both the key pair and the local authentication as part of the login process. We can tell multi-factor authentication is in play because we'll receive the prompt that the user was authenticated with partial success, as noted here. This means the public key authentication check was passed successfully, and that we're now being prompted for the local password for that account. Rerunning the show SSH server command, we can see that the chained authentication is now enabled for AltaVault. Authentication will always occur in this order from now on, and you'll want to repeat the process of importing public keys to AltaVault for additional users who will have access to this system from this point forward. With that, this concludes this quick demo on securing AltaVault with SSH Chained Authentication. This multi-factor authentication feature provides organizations additional security to ensure that only privileged users are accessing AltaVault systems. For more information about AltaVault, visit our page at www.netapp.com/AltaVault.